Well, here I am again. I have been requested to show this game on this YouTube chess channel that I operate here on YouTube, of course. This is a very good friend of mine from a wee while back, from particularly that there of the Cathedral Square Giant Chessboard in Christchurch, New Zealand. So I'm going to show you this 5-minute game that he's asked me to bring here to you. And I'm just going to do it cold. And I am a wee bit cold, but the fire's on in the other room. But I just am going to be looking at this game. I know the first move's d4. So I'm just going to look at this game. And I'm going to see, just get normal reactions from the play for this 5-minute game. Now, this player is a very, very good player and is a subscriber on this chess channel, which I really appreciate. And also leaves some comments here and there. So it's really good. I like comments because then I can find out what I'm doing good or what I'm not doing good, or that sort of thing. And so I really appreciate comments. So if you want to give some comments, you're most welcome. I can, of course, edit them, or I can, of course, not place them on this channel. But generally, they're going to be very good comments. So thank you for those comments. They really mean a lot to me. I really appreciate your comments. And I appreciate you just watching and just enjoying. And I'm very happy to say that I get some good feedback from players that say that some of the ideas that I bring to this great game of chess inspire them. And I don't mean, see, chess isn't mine. I don't own chess. No such thing. No one owns chess. Even the best players in the world do not own chess. So chess is, as a pastor of mine a long, long time ago said, chess is just a game. Wow, little did that pastor know. Okay, so here we go. The first move is d4, and I can actually analyze a little bit here. So we're just going to move through these moves here. a4, wow, a4. Now, which way do we take back? Yes, I sort of like, there's a discussion about which way to take back with the pawn, the e pawn or the c3 pawn, or the knight, but basically there is discussion. I can recall about whether or not we play ed4 here or cd4. Now, ed4 sort of makes it look a bit more sensible, because then we've got somewhere to move our bishop out to for white, this bishop here. But also this move, pawn takes pawn, gives us the opportunity to move our knight to c3. And that's something I like about chess.com a little bit better. I like lead chess better than chess.com, but one of the things I like about chess.com, yes, I'm stuck on that subject, is that the position with the knight, for example, just here. I don't have to, and there's probably a way to do it, but I don't enjoy having to manually do these sorts of things than I don't have to do on chess.com. And chess.com has different colors for things like here. We've got the red, white and blue for the Dutch flag and the French flag and other flags too. So here, my friend from way back then, who's still my friend, of course, and I'm very pleased to have content and contact with him after some years after the earthquake and that sort of thing, the major earthquake here in Christchurch. So here we've got ed4, knight f6, and bishop d3, bishop d6. So there's no bishop f4 here to play here for white, because it's obviously a blunder. And it is a blunder. It's we all play these blunders. Okay, so bishop d6 castles, and I remember this player is very, very good at the Latvian gambit. He's very, very good with the Latvian gambit. Castling, bishop g5, very sensible. Bishop g5, h6, and then we have bishop h4, which has been played a few times before, bishop e7. Now we have b4, probably a move I'd consider playing here, as I like the idea of buffing the knight away and flicking this knight into e5. Oops. And so just playing b5 and making this knight go back here or to here, and then running this knight horde into e5 position. So here comes knight e4, and this is a move I've seen before. It's called the Dcuzbromatov variation and the queen's pawn opening. So we got, because I've seen Magnus play the setup for black, where you can play, I think, don't quote me there please, where you can play knight e4 quite a lot of times for black in the queen's pawn opening and get away with it and swap off white's bad bishop, which is going to favour. Anyway, queen e7, and now we have bishop e4, d4, knight fd2. Now, is it f5? Yes, it is. The best move on the planet, f5. f5 is the best move on the whole board ever. Queen b3. So, as I was saying to my friend earlier on today, another friend, I've got another friend, and as I was saying to my friend just earlier today, count the amount of moves you've made with your pawns and pieces in the opening. Do not, like me, move your pieces around or pawns around too much, but get into development and just count. We could count here. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can actually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's black's move. So king h7. That's possibly because white's just played knight back to here. So here's king h7, a5, fair enough, a6, knight a3. So I'm only looking at this for the first time. We have a hole here, haven't we, for white to investigate at least. All this knight, and this knight can sort of come back here, or this knight can come back here. We have to watch out for these pawns, because I think they're quite good, these pawns. So moving on, we have knight a7, okay, knight a7, and then we have knight ac4. So if this knight's going to go off to the edge of the universe, and note the rating is 1736 versus 1520 for New Zealand. So knight c4, and this knight can look to hop to here, and this knight can look to hop to here and here, if so wish. So black's got these two doubled pawns in the centre, e6, d5, with the help of the f5 pawn. The pawns are, like this bishop will probably want to maybe come out to here. That's what I'd try to do if I'm black. maybe, or try and get e5 in. And can't do that with king h7 on g8. So knight b5, knight e5. So this knight looks to me a little bit fastened at the moment because it's not much chance of getting rid of it easily. Here we've got bishop d7, and then we've got knight dc4. Now, if the knight wasn't on here, but it was on here instead, oops, then this bishop could have come here at this time. Maybe. So here, I think that I would be, knight dc4 is probably threatening here. Oh, oops. There's probably threatening there, if I can be so bold and say. And I would probably look to place this rook on here. Maybe even f4. But I am a wee bit tired because I did play a couple of games this morning. Long play we play. My friend and I, a very good chess player, by the way. So here is, where am I up to? Knight dc4. And we've got rook a c8. Now, of course, if this knight does move in here, we are threatening this bishop on d7 twice with this knight and this knight. But then black will probably have rook takes c3, okay? So black will probably have rook takes c3, which is defended by this knight on b5. So here's rook a c1. I thought something like that would occur. So rook a c1, and then we have, what's going on there? It says knight d7, queen d7, knight b. Oh, okay. There's some analysis here. How's that got there? How's this analysis? Oh, no, it's not. I can't read it. Rook a c1, e4. Yes, I think this is a good test of black's pawns on the king's side, I think. And what's going to happen next is we've got this knight d7, queen d7, and knight b6. I missed it. And of course, we now win the exchange for white. And queen f7, knight c8, rook c8. Some players would actually resign this. But these pawns here, these pawns here are okay for black. They give black some counter chances, that sort of thing. Because as soon as this moves to f3, then we've got moves like queen here and that sort of thing. So, and if after f3, g3, then queen can come to f5 to h3, and thereby threatening queen g2 checkmate. So here is queen b1. Now, can black nab the c3 pawn? Excuse me. Can black nab the c3 pawn here? I find it's hard to read this properly. Black does soon nibble on the c3 pawn here. Or this one, red and white and blue. Black soon nibbles on that, but first black plays queen f5, defending the c pawn with that sort of thing. But I still think that it looks like I'm not necessarily analysing this properly. From the naked eye, I think that knight c3 looks okay. It looks okay to me, I think. Are we going to trap it, are we? Is that what white intends? So after knight c3, maybe white is going to trap the knight. Because once the knight moves back, then it's just rook takes rook, isn't it? So probably if we go knight c3, we have to watch a few things all at once, really. So I'm not completely sure about this, because I think that white could lose this knight c3 pawn. I think that's my understanding, because anywhere I want to go to attack the knight twice is prevented by a knight move in some cases. So if I go queen b2 here, then black does have, does they? I don't know. Do they have that? Well, they have kind of like this move, don't they? I think, maybe. But I was actually going to play knight a4. But then, upon this move, or similar, there the knight has lost availability of squares. Or has it? So we go rook takes c1, rook takes c1, and then we have b5, ab6, because now the knight has got station, but it's better for white, of course. White's got the exchange up. So the knight is, for the meantime, not going anywhere. If we play ab6, it's going off on a tangent, isn't it? So I also think that queen b2 and queen c7 seems to look okay for black. I think that's what I think. Queen b1, and here we have the continuing queen f5 and f3. And now we have knight c3. So who knows about the consequences, other than the consequences that were met here, or that happened and occurred here were rook c3, queen e4, queen e4. Do we have to do that? Not necessarily, but we probably might as well. Queen e4 and fe4 and rook c4. And rook d1, rook b4, d5, ed5. This is a runaway pawn, so black has to get back straight away. And then we can nibble this, the king can nibble this pawn on f4. Can they? No, not necessarily. Whereas the king can run here to there, sort of thing. So we've got 4 versus 5. So black should be winning. Okay, king f2. Danger, danger, danger. Chonk. Told you I haven't looked at this game yet. King g6. Now we have to work out whether or not we win the race. Oh. Now what we're going to do next. King c5. What was the next move? King c5, yeah. I think that king c5 is probably the sensible move here, because then as soon as b4 happens, then we have just queen d2, and thereby winning this pawn here on b4. Next move. So king c5. Oh well, that one then. It's threatening checkmate, isn't it? It's a bit better. Queen c4, and that's where this opponent of my friend Neos Knights resigns. Okay. Anyway, I enjoyed that sort of thing. It's not played by him d4. The passages for the knight looked quite good for both the knights, which I quite like the knights to mingle together and to support each other and also be a bit of a pain for one's opponent. Yeah, so there you go. All the best, and thank you for watching, and thank you for asking. There is another game to have a look at too.